love and try to make it new.
Well, good morning, all you cool cats and kittens. We are back with another video in a new Albanian city. We are in Shkodra, or as I will sometimes incorrectly say, Shkodër, because it's spelt with an E, and I can't say things differently than the way they're spelt. But this is a fantastic destination if you are somebody who likes to be in the mountains, because we are in the northwest of Albania, and Shkodra is really known as the gateway to the Albanian Alps, because it's from this city that you can really get to a lot of the smaller places up in the mountains like Theth or Valbona. Of course, that is much more popular to do in the summer. The roads can actually be very treacherous in the winter, so I'm very lucky that we're having a very warm winter. It's still like plus 13 on average, and we're in the middle of December, so I think I may be able to get up there this weekend, but on a whole, I would really recommend that you come in the summer. So that video, when I go up to the mountains, will be its own thing. Today, we will be focusing on Shkodra and the things that you can see and do here. I would recommend that you come here for at least 2 to 3 days, like 2 days as a minimum. The end of this video is probably going to be what I did yesterday, going out to the lake and the castle. It would be very hard to see everything in just one day. So I'm gonna combine all of my personal favorites. I hope you guys will find it helpful, and let's get to it. So here we are walking down the main pedestrian street. I think it's called the Venetian Street, but on Google Maps it shows Kola i Dremeno. So this is basically in the heart of the city, and there's so many great little cafes, restaurants, shops. So if you were looking for a hotel to stay at, I would probably recommend something fairly close to this street. Shkodra is actually a really interesting city in the sense that there are a lot of tourist sort of places. You'll have no issues coming here if you only speak English. But what's also great about it is that it does, you know, have a more local appeal as well. That as soon as you kind of get out of the downtown center, you really get, you know, more of an authentic idea of how people live. And I'll actually try and take you guys to the suburbs at some point today to kind of just show you regular houses and a very different, you know, view than just the downtown core. I found it to be a very safe place, haven't had any issues. If you want something that's not all glossy tourist kind of stuff, this city actually has a really good mix of both. So where I want to take you guys now is actually the first restaurant that I went to when I first got here. It's called Restaurant Puri, and it's definitely a more local sort of place, though they did manage to get me a pseudo English menu sort of thing. The owners are super nice and the food quality is incredible for the price. So even though there's amazing like tourist friendly restaurants that have all the stuff that you'd probably see at home, this place is really special and I really enjoyed it, so I wanted to show you guys it. Well, that was super nice. The owner comped my beer because I've been there a few times now. But my whole meal, even if I would have paid for my beer, basically came to like $5.50 lek, which is $5.50 American, about $7 Canadian. And for that quality and amount of food, I don't think it can be beat. So now I think I'm going to take you guys to the more local area. That was actually the first thing that I did when I first came to Shkodra, and I think it's really important to do that in whatever place you come to, because just staying in the city center obviously doesn't give you a clear picture of what life is actually like in these sort of places. And then afterwards we will be doing the day trips that I highly recommend you guys do if you come to Shkodra. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this little inside look to the more suburb and rural part of Shkodra, because we are literally on the outskirts of town now. There are like larger houses, some people have livestock, really nice big gardens. And I just wanted to make a note that Albania as a whole, from the 3 weeks that I've been here so far, is a very safe place. I haven't had any issues. Like, of course, use common sense, maybe stay in the center of town if you're not really used to, this style of travel. But as a whole, I really don't think most people would have any safety issues. And before I get to the footage of what I shot yesterday, kind of going outside of the city, those attractions, I just wanted to mention that I stayed at a really good hotel in the center of the city called Hotel Kadaku. I'm going to insert some footage. It's a family-run hotel. They've been around for like 30 years, and I really, wanted to support smaller local businesses, so they seemed like a great option, have really good reviews, and the room was like $20 US a night, breakfast included, and I just don't think you could get anything better than that for the price. Of course, there's really fancy places in the city center as well, but if you wanted to support a local family-run business, I would really recommend them. The other nice thing that they have is that they actually let you borrow bikes for free from the hotel. Like, keep in mind, they're not fancy bikes, but at the end of the day, they got me to where I needed to go, and that's how I got to the attractions that I did yesterday. So without any further ado, here's the footage that I shot yesterday and some awesome attractions that I'd really recommend checking out when you come to Shkodra. So here we are, friends. We have made it to Shiroka, I think. I'm not sure yet about the pronunciation with Albanian because it's the E at the end that has the 2 dots, and I think that translates to an English A, which would make it Shiroka, but it's the little village that's kind of on the side of Shkodra Lake. It's about 5 kilometers from Shkodra itself, and I actually got the suggestion to come here from one of my Instagram followers, so thank you so much to the person that recommended me this place, because from Shkodra itself you can't really get the full view of the lake. You kind of just see it as like a little river that then comes into this. So if you're looking for a great place to see Shkodra Lake from, I would highly recommend this little village. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna spend a couple hours here, maybe grab a coffee, walk around. I think the population, from what I read online, is only about 600 people, but that was back in 2005, so maybe it's a little bit bigger by now. But either way, it's really nice, it's really quaint, especially in the winter season. It is very quiet right now, so it is really such a special experience to have this whole area basically to yourself and just be in the majesty of nature.
If you want more than to stay alive, so come on over, we can make it through. Take my hand, I know just what to do. On the beat, keep dancing through the night. Stay up until the morning light, the morning light falls. So come on over, we can make it through. Take my hand, I know just what to do.
So the other thing that you guys absolutely have to do if you come to Shkodra is come to Rozafa Castle. That's also kind of on the outskirts of the city and would be better to see if you had like a bike or some kind of other transit. Though of course you could walk there too, depending on where you are in the city. But since it's getting a little bit later, I think it would be the perfect place to end off our day and see the sunset. So I'm actually very happy to see some people in here because to be honest, when I was coming in, it's actually pretty creepy. I can't imagine being up here if it was like nighttime and you were all alone. I feel like I'm, you know, a fairly brave and don't assume worst intent kind of person, but there's some places that just give me the heebie-jeebies. And for some reason I kind of get that from this castle, so I'm really glad that those people were there. I hope there's more. But this castle, Rozafa Castle, also known as Shkodër Castle, after the city was built in the Illyrian period, from my understanding, and had other fortifications even before that time. And it really was used as a sort of lookout point, a defense. I'll put all the details as we walk around the castle, since I can't think of them off the top of my head, but the view is absolutely stunning from the top here. I'm excited to fly my drone, and if you come to Shkodër, this is a must, but ideally not by yourself. So that is it, my friends. This brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Shkodër is a really great city to come and see in Albania. It's definitely the gateway of the Albanian Alps, which I will be trying to go see this weekend. But either way, even if you don't get up to the actual mountains themselves, I think Shkodër is a really great city to come to because it's not that far away from Tirana. It has a whole bunch of attractions in and of itself. The Shkodra lake was absolutely beautiful, and I think this would just be a really great place to have something a little bit different than Tirana. But nevertheless, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts down below, and as always, keep being your own kind of beautiful. Bye guys.